Oh, hey guys, welcome back to another Devstream. Okay, so if you can see, आज का हमारा गोल है साउंड डालना है गेम में एंड अकल्जन कलिंग यूज़ करना है. ये मेरा प्लेयर है. मैंने कुछ साउंड इफ़ेक्ट्स निकाले थे ऑलरेडी गन पिस्टल शूट करने के लिए. सो इसमें एक ऑडियो सोर्स डालना पड़ेगा आई थिंक. ऑडियो सोर्स मे बी ऑडियो लिसनर. Nope, that does not work. Okay, let's look how we can do that.
Hey guys, welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to properly set up your music and sound effects in Unity so that you can play all your sounds from an audio mixer. This will let you use different effects for different sound groups, as well as control your volume with a slider from a menu. Let's get started. So I have a really simple scene here with a player and a test enemy, and if I hit the escape key, we've got a test menu. This currently doesn't do anything. We will go through that together. You don't need assets to follow along with this tutorial. However, all of the assets you see in this project can be downloaded for free. You can use them personally or commercially. That's totally up to you. I've left a link in the description. I hope you enjoy. So let's start off by just grabbing some sound effects first. I will leave a link to this down in the description below, but this is called
I have a pistol sound. Oh, hang on a second.
Chip Tone, and it's just a really nice sound generator tool that you can use to download free sound effects. I'm going to click
Right.
Hurt. I'm going to save that one, and again, and one more time.
Chip tone.
I'm just going to drag all of those into my sounds folder there. And I've just renamed those to Hurt 1, 2, and 3. So first, let's just get a sound effect playing when we damage our enemy. So what you might think that you want to do is, add an audio source to your enemy. And then let's just get a sound effect playing in our enemy health script right here where we call damage. So let's create a field for our audio clip. Right, so we've set up a private audio.
Okay, so that's what I was trying to do. God damn, why don't I speak properly? Add source. ठीक है?
Clip.
ओके, सो प्लेयर के लिए मुझे क्या उसकी गोली चलेंगी तब करना रहेगा. प्लेयर कंट्रोलर. Maybe I should not use player controller because I don't know. उसमें crouch करने के लिए मैंने कोशिश करी थी and stuff wasn't working. Let's do it here. You know. Serialize field. List. Hi Mac Deacon, welcome to the stream. Audio clip. Audio clip. Okay, so there is an issue right here क्योंकि दोनों जगह से चलाना पड़ जाएगा ना मुझे. Yes. Okay, so screw it. Let's just do it from player controller. बिकॉज मूवमेंट के लिए उसके अलग फुटस्टेप्स की आवाज़ अलग होंगी एंड देन मूव गन शॉट के लिए अलग आवाज़ तो जस्ट डू इट हियर देन ऑडियो क्लिप ऑडियो क्लिप्स hey Mac is am I audible आवाज़ आ रही है Mac
called audio sound clip. Let's also get a reference to the audio source called audio source. And let's get that component in our start function. And then down here, you could say audio source.clip equals damage sound clip. And then you could say audio source.play. And if we drag,
okay since मेरा list है I can probably create a wait audio source now I'll use where is the start function okay okay public play audio okay no if I do one shot तो वो वन शॉट तो गन के लिए होगा ना no call it play single audio clip index ठीक है audio source dot play one shot audio clip now what I can do is जब मैं लेफ्ट क्लिक दबाता हूँ अटैक यहाँ पे ना do I have access to player controller dot play single audio 0 play gunshot yep that's exactly what I wanted to do और जब मैं reload कर रहा हूँ one where is my list इसको पब्लिक करा है कि नहीं DAC सीरियलाइज फील्ड लिस्ट ऑडियो क्लिप्स है तो प्लेयर कंट्रोलर में होगा ये रहा ऑडियो क्लिप्स सो व्हाट आई एम गोना डू हियर इज कि मैं साउंड में गया डीगल का साउंड ये गन शॉट रीलोड एयर सॉफ्ट ठीक है प्लेयर रीलोड ठीक है लेट्स टेस्ट इट आउट Nothing? Is there anything else I have to enable? Parameter speed does not work. Maybe there is more I have to follow probably. क्योंकि हाँ ये इसमें तो कुछ हो ही नहीं रहा.
In a sound there. Let's uncheck play on awake and let's try that. Now let's uncheck play on awake and let's try that. Now doing it
Hold up. उसने क्या function लिखा?
and then you
Audio clip. One shot नहीं करा उसने. Audio clip dot play. AI ने मेरे को फिर ये क्यों बताया?
could say
audio source dot clip is equals to अच्छा. Let's remove the null check for now. Audio source dot clip is equals to clip index. ठीक है. Then audio source dot play. I remember using one shot for something back in the day. So that's why I used one shot here. There is no audio listener in the scene. Please ensure there is. Okay. Oh, yes. Do you hear that? Okay. I don't think ये साउंड सही है मेरे यूज़ के हिसाब से. एनिमेशन छोटा है एंड ऑडियो क्लिप बहुत आगे तक चलती है. Do I have to edit it? मेरे एनिमेशन की लेंथ क्या है? ऐड टैब एनिमेशन रीलोड. सेकंड्स में है ना? हाँ. 1 second 6 1 second and 16 millisecond. Somewhere around here, right? Let's see here. Deagle new. I don't want it. MP4 audio only. MP3. Wait, ये MP3 है क्या? Okay. Deagle reload new. Deagle reload new. ये ना? Yes. All right. Where were we? Okay, yes. Yeah, good enough, right? Okay, so that was that. Now मुझे इसमें footsteps का भी डालना है कि या फिर zombie का भी sound भी तो डालना है. Oh God, that's bullshit.
Source.play. And if we drag in a sound there, let's uncheck play on awake, and let's try that. Now, doing it this way, we can already see a problem, right? When we damage our enemy for the third time and we kill him, because his health is at 3, we then destroy our enemy game object, which is going to destroy the audio source as well. So the damage clip is not going to play that third time, and that's definitely not what we want. So let's get rid of the audio source, and we'll get rid of these, and this, and this. So the solution that you might come across after looking into this is you can just directly call audio source.play clip at point, and you pass in a clip, which is our damage sound clip. We can also even give it a position in the world. So we'll just say transform.position, and you can also pass in a volume, and we'll just put it at full volume. So there's no audio source on our enemy, nothing like that. And yet when we play, you can see that that fixes our issue. However, this introduces a new problem. If we do play focused, and we do that again, And there, it took me a couple of tries, but I managed to pause while it's actually got this object in the scene. So if you do play clip at point, what it's actually going to do is temporarily create this game object in your scene, which has an audio source on it with your audio clip. Now remember, our goal with this video is to be able to control our volume with these sliders here. But in order to do that, we need to be able to access this output and put our audio mixer in here. And you cannot do that with play clip at point. There's just no way to access this audio source. So that is not what we want either. So what we're going to do is set up our own script to handle this. So inside my scripts folder and inside of managers, I'm going to create a new C# script called Sound Effects Manager. I'm going to create a new game object called Sound Effects Manager. Let's reset the transform. I'm going to move that up here and assign Sound Effects Manager to it. Let's open that up. Let's get rid of all this. Now I want to be able to call this very easily from anywhere. So we are going to do that by making this a singleton. So that is super easy to do. All we have to do is say public static sound effects manager instance, and then create an awake function. And inside of there, say if instance is equal to null, then instance equals this.
So ये कह रहा है कि मुझे इंस्टेंस बनाना चाहिए एंड इसके थ्रू करना चाहिए, बट लास्ट टाइम मैंने जैसा करा था मुझे कुछ इशू आ गए थे, वैल्यूज अनअसाइन हो गई थी, आई रिमेम्बर. बट maybe we can follow this tutorial and इंस्टेंस के थ्रू अगर हम लोग कॉल करेंगे तो वो बेटर रहेगा कि जो साउंड है वो एक ही जगह से चल रहा है. मेरे को 10 जगह फिर ऑडियो का रखना नहीं पड़ेगा, है ना. लेट्स सी ये कर क्या रहा है. इंस्टेंस बनाया उसने.
What that allows you to do is, let's just set up a quick public void example function. If we call this from anywhere else, we can say sound effects manager dot instance dot example function. We can call it like that without having to grab the component or do anything like that. We can just
Okay.
call it directly. You only ever want to make something a singleton if you know there's only going to be one of them in the scene ever. So just be careful when you're setting these up. Let's get rid of this. So let's create a function that will essentially do the same thing that play clip at point did. So we want to instantiate a game object into the world. We want it to play the sound effect, and then we want it to destroy itself after the clip is done playing. So we're going to say public void play sound effects clip. And we know we're going to need to pass in some sort of audio clip. Let's call that audio clip. And just like play clip at point, I also want to pass in some sort of transform. Let's call that spawn transform. Okay, so how is this going to work? First, we want to spawn in the game object. Then we want to assign the clip. Then actually it would be nice to be able to assign some sort of volume. So let's also add a float called volume up here. Then we want to actually play the sound. Then we want to get the length of our clip. And then we want to destroy this game object after a certain amount of time. Now, we don't have to get a reference to the audio source, because what we can actually do is say audio source, let's call it audio source, is equal to instantiate. So what are we spawning into the scene? Well, we're going to need to set up some sort of prefab game object. So let's get a reference to that up here. Now, normally you would say private game object, sound effects object, but then we would have to include the extra step down here of having to grab a reference to the audio source. If we just assign it as an audio source directly, then we can actually grab that component while we spawn it in at the exact same time. So now we're spawning in our sound effects object. Where are we spawning that in? At our spawn transform dot position. And we don't care about rotation, so let's just say quaternion dot identity. So next we want to assign.
Alright, so let me think, let me get this straight. इसने क्या करा है कि ऑडियो सोर्स करके एक गेम ऑब्जेक्ट बनाया है एंड उसे वो इंस्टेंशिएट करेगा ऑन अ क्लिप. बट जॉम्बी को डैमेज मिलेगा तो उसके डैमेज की आवाज़ आनी चाहिए. यस, मैंने तो अभी पिस्टल पे करा है जो डायरेक्टली चल रहा है. दैट्स गुड इनफ फॉर नाउ, राइट?
in the clip. So now we actually have a reference to our audio source here. So we're going to say audio source dot clip is equal to audio clip, which is being passed in here. To assign the volume, we'll say audio source dot volume is equal to volume. To play the sound, we'll say audio source dot play. To get the length of the sound effects clip, let's set up a float called clip length, and that's equal to our audio source dot clip dot length. And then finally, we'll call destroy on what? On our audio source dot game object. After how many seconds? After clip length. Now let's not forget that we set this up here. So before we forget, let's go ahead and assign that in the inspector. So to create our object, let's go up here and say create empty sound effects object. Let's reset the transform. Let's add an audio source. Let's uncheck play on awake. And I'm going to drag that into my prefabs folder. Let's delete that. And now we can assign that to our sound effects manager. So finally, to test this out, let's actually call this when we damage our enemy. So we can say sound effects manager dot instance dot play sound effects clip. What are we playing? Our damage sound clip. What's the spawn transform? Just the transform. And volume, we could create a serialized field up here, or we can just pass in a 1 here for full volume. Let's give that a test. There you go. And you can see, just like play clip at point, you can see that when we create it, it very quickly instantiates into the scene and then destroys itself. One thing that's always really nice is to have a couple of sound effects clips and then to play one at random. So let's set that up very fast in our
ओके, तो ये डैमेज का बता रहा है, कैसे करना चाहिए? I can do that. How about I use that for playing the damage clip and गोली चलाने की आवाज and stuff. Create a empty sound manager. ठीक है? Now what I have to do is कि script में जाके एक no, I don't like this structure here. But कंपनी ने बोला था ऐसा चाहिए उनको स्ट्रक्चर. क्या बोल कर सकते उसमें? void awake if ठीक है. और क्या था उसमें? क्लिप सोर्स. ठीक है. Hold up, guys. I think mom dad आ गए. They might need my help for something. Be right back. I'm back. Hmm. Okay. Okay, that was just my screen. For some reason मैंने स्ट्रेट रखा है फ़ोन को, तो मुझे लगा कि वो कोने का दिख नहीं रहा लोगों को, दब रहा है. Let me test it out first. Null exception. अच्छा मैंने असाइन ही नहीं करा ना उसको. Gunshot. Reload new. Okay. Now अगर मुझे चेक करना है तो पहले मुझे ढूंढना पड़ेगा. Epidemic sound. Splice. Pixabay. What I want is zombie. Female zombie scream. Ah! Mm-mm-mm. 8 सेकंड वाली क्लिप मत दिखाया. जॉम्बी को जैसे गोली लगती है. Zombie moan. Zombie shot. नहीं. Nope. Um, this sounds good enough. Say thanks to free sound community by downloading. You agree to our license. What? What is the license? Use content for free. Use content without having attributes to author. Modify, adapt content to new work. Okay. Yeah, that's good enough, right? Okay, so wait, which one was it? Zombie sound. नहीं 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 ये नहीं. Shut up. Okay, so can I give them shout out on my channel? Free Sound Community. Shout out to Free Sound Community for my zombie sound. Okay, folder zombie. I was wondering कि अगर ये सब नहीं होता तो मुझे क्या मुंह से निकालनी पड़ती zombie की sound. Hey, these streams are don't belong here anymore. Hold up, let me just check that real quick. Huh. Okay, good.
Sound effects manager. Let's copy.
अरे मेरे को शॉर्ट की तो क्लिप मिली नहीं. Zombie taking damage. नहीं. Okay. Can I get something here? Game. Gasping zombie, zombie, zombie monster door. Frightening zombie roar. Zombie monster, monster growl. What the fuck? Starting में क्या था वो? हाँ. Can I get this? The ultimate creative subscription, unlimited stock assets, million of premium assets. Start creating now. Okay. I think गोली पड़ने पर ये यूज कर सकते हैं. Sounds good enough, right? मेरा zombie. तो उसे डैमेज कब मिलता? टेक डैमेज. यहीं पे उसका ऑडियो क्लिप ले लेते हैं. सीरियलाइज फील्ड ऑडियो क्लिप hit sfx. Hit sfx. Sure. Take damage is online rpc take damage. यहाँ पर It has FX transform. Okay. Okay. That's done. There is my zombie. Where is my zombie script? ये रही zombie script. मुझे चाहिए ऑडियो सोर्स. ऑडियो सोर्स मिलेगा साउंड. zombie. Yes. Gasp का. Nope. Where is it? ये रहा. All right. यहाँ से प्ले होगा. Come on, man. Where are you? Okay. Make sure not to take a headshot. Okay, wait, let me try something. कि अगर मैं उसे दूर से मार रहा हूँ तो वो damn it. Okay, that is an issue. कि क्या है ना कि मेरे को कान पे आ रही है ऑडियो लिसनर की आवाज़. क्या मेरा ऑडियो लिसनर कैमरा पे इसकी वजह से. पॉज करने का शॉर्टकट क्या होता है गाइस, इसको पता है क्या? एनीवन नोज द शॉर्टकट टू पॉज द गेम? ओ वेट, थोड़ा सा देर के लिए चलता है ना. ऑडियो सोर्स क्लोन. वो तो आ तो वहीं से रहा है. आवाज़ आ वहीं से रही है पर मेरे के कान में क्यों बज रही है ये?
And paste this. Let's rename that to play random sound effects clip. And instead of just taking in an audio clip, let's have it take in an audio clip array. So the only thing that needs to change here is we need to grab some sort of random index. So we're going to set up a private integer called rand, and that's equal to random dot range. So the minimum is going to be 0, and the maximum is going to be our audio clip dot length, which is the number of clips in our array. And now when we assign the actual audio clip down here, what we can say is audio source dot clip is equal to audio clip of a random index. Now if we go back to our enemy health and we change this to a private audio clip array called damage sound clips, let's get rid of this one and instead call sound effects manager dot instance dot play random sound effects clip. We're just going to pass in damage sound clips at the transform at full volume. And finally, let's lock our inspectors so that we can actually grab all 3 of these and drag them onto our damage sound clips. There you go. So now let's get this set up to be working with an audio mixer. Let's go to Window over here, go to Audio and select Audio Mixer. I'm going to dock that up here and let's create a new mixer called Main Mixer.
Wait,
All right,
wait,
so
wait,
I'm
wait,
not going to
wait.
go through all of these because that's outside of
They spot something in my camera? Oh, that was just my hand. Hmm. Uh.
the scope of this tutorial. However, there's all sorts of awesome things that you can do with this. It will automatically set up a master node with an attenuation effect. Attenuation essentially just allows you to control the volume. That's really all it means. Now, what we do care about is the groups over here. We want to be able to play our sounds in different groups. So let's create a new one. Let's call that sound effects. And let's create one more, select the master and click plus, and let's say music. So you'll see both of those were set up with attenuation as well, which is what we want. So what we want to essentially be able to do is inside of our slider functions here, if you scroll down, you'll see on value changed. We want to be able to assign something in there that controls these sliders here. And to do that, we're going to need to expose some parameters in the audio mixer. So if you select the master, you'll see your inspector changes over here. And if you right click the volume, we can say expose volume of master to script. Click that and now you can see exposed parameters 1. If you click that and double click this, we can rename it to master volume.
I remember making
And
those.
let's click sound effects and do the same thing. Right click, click expose, and let's call that sound effects volume.
Okay, I don't want to do this right now. Audio effects मुझे डालना था, जैसे शूट करा तो गन की आवाज़ आ रही है, एंड सेकेंडली जैसे फुटस्टेप्स की आवाज़ चाहिए मुझे. ओके, राइट, लेट्स गो ओवर हियर. Footsteps. Dirt and gravel. Dirt, gravel. Okay. Walking sound effect on different. You know what? Why? Why? Ask ChatGPT maybe. Okay. I have created a map with different terrain. Now I want to play different sound when player walks. What's it called? You can do this certainly. Oh, what this comes with create layer. Grass, dirt, sand, rock. Each of these terrain just uses texture. Okay, let's see. पेंट टेक्सचर, ये लेयर बनी हुई है ना ऑलरेडी। स्टेप 1, मेक श्योर यू आर यूजिंग टेरेन लेयर्स। ठीक है। Do I have to redo my whole terrain now? Or maybe just paint it differently? ये तो है ना। पेंट टेक्सचर में गए, क्रिएट लेयर, ऐड लेयर डज नॉट डू द सेम, न्यू लेयर। नहीं, ऐसा तो आया है ना मेरे पास। ये कर दिया उसने पेंट। ठीक है। ग्लास। ठीक है। क्रिएट फुटस्टेप्स, ग्लास। ओके। टेरेन, ऑडियो सोर्स। हाँ पापा। हाँ। ठीक है। प्ले फुटस्टेप्स, ये फंक्शन बनाया है। कैन यू शो मी अ ट्यूटोरियल फॉर दिस? अबे क्या है ये? वन सेकंड। बेस्ट यूट्यूब, डिटेक्ट टेरेन लेयर्स। साउंड टेक्सचर डिटेक्शन। ओके, इफ यू से सो।
Hi everyone! In this video, we're going to add footstep sounds in Unity, based on which terrain texture the player is walking or running on. First, create the terrain game objects in your scene.
I have that.
Now, prepare your footstep sounds. Each sound should be one single step, not a loop.
Okay, one single steps. 35 सेकंड नहीं. नहीं. God damn it, where should I get that? Where would I get that? Not from here then. Gravel. Footsteps. अरे इसने दिया है क्या मुझे कुछ? Tallgrass forest. God damn it. Anyone know where I can find good sound effect source? Footstep. Sneaker. Footstep on sand. I don't have sand. Concrete. Wait, why is there a star here? Premium. High heel. Hey, this works fine for me, no? 3 downloads. Renewed monthly. Okay, so I have to be careful here. This one sounds better. Let's do this. Free download. Okay. I have to sign up. Continue. Upbeat IO. What is your theme? Gaming. Google. अरे जो बोला वो करके दे यार. 1 of 3. ठीक है. कंक्रीट एक हो गया. दूसरा टरेन क्या है मेरा? ग्रास. फुटस्टेप ऑन वुड. फुटस्टेप स्टॉर्म. फुटस्टेप वुड. आइस नहीं. Footstep. Grass. I think what the hell? I don't want sand, I want grass. Concrete हो गया. Pebbles. Hard floor. छः सेकंड का क्या करूँगा? मुझे 1 सेकंड का चाहिए. Maybe I can yes. इसको थोड़ा सा कट कर दूंगा मैं. Be right back, guys. Oh no. Okay, you know what? एक के लिए करके देखते हैं हम लोग.
Next, open the
Sound player. ठीक है.
terrain tool and add terrain texture layers like grass, dirt, and snow. After that, paint each texture on different parts of the terrain.
Yeah.
Movement script. Now, go to your movement script. You can use the same movement code I use in this channel or any movement system you already have.
Okay. So instead of doing movement, that, just do it in the script right here, and I can use this.
Add an audio source component to your player.
ऑडियो सोर्स टू प्लेयर. ऑडियो सोर्स डला है. ऑडियो सोर्स ले भी रहा हूँ मैं यहाँ पे.
The step audio clip in the inspector. You can use arrays for variation, but for simplicity
I'm
I'm
using a
using
list for
one
that.
clip per surface. We also need a timer, so the sound matches the footstep animation. Without a timer, the sound would play every frame, which sounds terrible.
Okay. Walk timer sound.
So, we store two values, a walk
Okay. Float run timer sound equals 0.4. क्योंकि मेरे गेम में वॉक का कोई कंसेप्ट नहीं है.
timer, a run timer,
Wait, what?
a
Step
runtime.
timer. Private float step timer. इसको फिर सीरियलाइज फील्ड कर देते हैं. Okay.
Now let's add a new function for footstep. First, if the player is not grounded, meaning he is in the air, then no sound should play. Then we check. If the player is running, use the running timer, which plays the sound faster. Otherwise, use the walking timer. When the timer reaches 0 and the player is moving, we play one footstep sound.
Manage footstep sound. Footstep sound. ठीक है. इसमें क्या है? If तो return और क्या बोला उसने? स्टेप टाइमर माइनस इक्वल्स टाइम डॉट डेल्टा टाइम, ये करा उसने। फ्लोट करंट टाइमर equals is running. Oh, what is running? Run timer sound.
Now let's detect which terrain texture is under the player. We use the
वो कर दिया and if step timer direction, move direction. What the player controller action, move, move. Oh, this is the method group. Move. कौन सा वाला move करना है? Oh, but this is a okay. I want to check for controller.move. Keep. Don't play any audio source right now.
Now let's detect which terrain texture is under the player. We use the raycast straight down from the player's position.
Okay, so void play sound, play footstep sound. Okay, उसमें क्या करा उसने? रेकास्ट लिया है नीचे की तरफ एंड रेकास्ट हिट 2F.
It's worth mentioning that this system also works if you use tags instead of terrain textures, but in big games, terrains are most common, so we focus on that. Each terrain texture has an index number. For example here, grass is index 0, dirt is index 1, snow is index 2, and so on. What we want is a texture that has the highest influence under the player's feet. If the raycast doesn't hit anything, we simply return. If it hits a terrain, we get a terrain component, then it's terrain data.
Okay. पहली condition if nope physics dot raycast vector 3 down it knows. Yeah, getting smarter in it. अगर कुछ नहीं मिलता है तो return then terrain equals terrain dot active terrain. That's a thing.
Now we convert the world position to terrain local position.
ओके अगर ये करने के बाद terrain null होता है तो return then what terrain data equals terrain data यही कर रहा है then convert world position to local position.
Why? Because terrain texture are stored in local terrain space, not world space. Next, we convert that position to alpha map coordinates. Why? Because Unity stores terrain texture blending inside an alpha map, not directly in world unit.
terrain data ले लिया मैंने then terrain point vector 3 terrain point equals hit तो ये क्या कर रहा है वर्ल्ड पोजीशन से लोकल पोजीशन पे मैं स्विच कर रहा हूँ वेक्टर 3 terrain hit point hit point minus terrain yes map x terrain position x terrain position what the heck small d अच्छा terrain data है instead of data I'm calling it terrain data map z, terrain data z, alpha, height.
Then we read the texture blending data at that position. But why? Because terrains can mix textures and we need to know which one is the strongest. We loop through all textures and find the one with the highest value. That means the texture with the most density under the player. If the strongest texture index is 0, then it should play grass sound. 1. Play dirt sound. 2. Play snow sound.
ओके, सो यहाँ पर हम लोग ब्लेंडिंग कर रहे हैं. जिस टेक्सचर का ब्लेंड ज़्यादा होगा वो उसका साउंड आएगा. ठीक है. फ्लोट, splat map equals data get terrain data. ओके, सो टेक्सचर ब्लेंडिंग के लिए ये, फिर इंट टेक्सचर इंडेक्स 0, फ्लोट स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट. What? वैल्यू असाइन बट नेवर यूज्ड. स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट टेक्सचर नाम दे देते इसको. देन उसके बाद एक फॉर लूप फॉर इंट आई इक्वल 0, I smaller than splat map dot get to if I strongest texture. Strongest texture is equals to splat 0 comma 0 comma I. Texture index equals I. Okay. यूज तो हो रहा है ये unnecessary value है for some reason. What the fuck? Okay, next क्या है? Audio clip play करना finally.
The order of terrain texture is very important and must match your code and the sound you give.
Audio clip. Okay, then ground clip equals null. ठीक है, equals null. ठीक है. If texture index equals 0, yep, that's what I want to do. 0, 1, okay. उसके बाद फिर if ground clip is not equals null, ये कह रहा है one shot, probably नहीं होगा one shot. Play one shot, okay.
Finally, we call this footstep function from the update function in our movement script. And that's it.
Play footstep.
Now let's detect which terrain texture is under the player. Sound 1. Play dirt sound. There is very important. Finally, and that's it from the update.
Manage footstep. Then I go to update, move. Achoo! Achoo! Okay, okay. Right here, foot on concrete. तो यहाँ पे जो लॉजिक मैंने ऐड किया था कि अगर प्लेयर चल नहीं रहा है तो प्ले नहीं करना है साउंड इफेक्ट। वेट, इसका भी
functioning or
असर है क्या?
movement script. And that's it. Now
Maybe not here. Don't call it here. In move function. God damn it, shut up. Hmm.
the game automatically detects the most dominant terrain texture and plays the correct footstep sound. The speed of the sound depends on whether the player is walking or running. You can add more terrain textures later and Unity will handle them the same way. Thanks for watching.
Uh, I followed your tutorial, but इसमें मुझे issues आए. I faced some issues, but you showed me how to add a background, backend तो बना के दे दिया, so I'll give you a like. Shout out to Unity Queen game. There is an issue that I have to solve. I think वो मेरे स्क्रिप्ट में है, मुझे देखना पड़ेगा कैसे करना है उसको. Or I can ask Claude to help me fix it. Help me fix the sound system. The sound should only play if player is walking. I see the issue. Here's the fix. Footstep sound. I can see the issue. The problem is in your footstep sound method. It's checking if player velocity is equals to 0, but player velocity includes gravity. Okay, ये सब है. Okay. I was hoping कि ऐसे कुछ रहा होगा, क्योंकि वो वीडियो में वो यूनिटी क्वीन गेम का मूव और मेरा मूव अलग अलग है, दोनों अलग अलग ब्रांड के. तो फुटस्टेप साउंड में यहाँ पर इफ ग्राउंडेड है, चेक इफ प्लेयर इज मूविंग हॉरिजॉन्टली. ठीक है, यहाँ पर था इशू. let's let's see what's gonna happen. Player camera root. Okay. It's working, but I think मुझे मेरा ये चेंज करना पड़ेगा. जो मैं क्लिप्स यूज़ कर रहा हूँ मुझे क्लिप चेंज करनी पड़ेंगी कि अभी तो ऐसा साउंड करता है कि घोड़े की तरह दौड़ रहा हूँ मैं. Designing is such a headache for me right now. So guys, I'm gonna work on this off stream because मेरा मन नहीं है stream करने का. Okay, so see you guys later.